Hi everybody, and welcome again to Jane Live, where we share real-time, real-life case studies, and we look at the effect of what we call miracle medicine. And where did the word miracle medicine come from? Some of the doctors that use my products have seen such miracles, such remarkable turnarounds, such incredible metamorphosis amongst their clients and their patients, that they actually turn around and say to me, Jane, this has got to be miracle medicine. So we're talking about the food state nutrients from 365 Healthy by Choice across the board. We're talking about the disease spectrum across the board, because remember, we're using also the quantum devices, the Skio Eductor, the QUEX, and also the Quantum 450, the 365 version of that. And with our baseline assessments, we start recharging and rebalancing the body. And we then can reset and we can rejuvenate, and we can then end up with rejoicing. So that was always our final end goal. We need to rejoice. Some people start rejoicing after day one, because the improvement in the pain, the mobility, the flexibility, the brain fog, the gut problems, the sleep problems, anxiety, depression, lift literally sometimes within a day. So we are really in an enviable position where we can really shift very quickly and make a remarkable difference to virtually anyone, no matter how healthy you are or how great the risk factor gap is to get to the healthy state. We make very, very important improvements. So I'm just getting the Facebook sorted up. Right, I think it's all live. Okay, so that's where we're coming from. And I think many of you who know me, who's sitting in the group, and also are even walking case studies yourselves. So it's really a question of joining the 365, the focus, coming in with a purpose, and we're all shifting together. And also now more than ever, we need to be, I think, aligning ourselves with people with a common purpose. So it's really awesome. People come in, they cleanse, they oxygen steam clean, they build up the microbiome, reset, they get the blood flowing, they get the clots out, they get the brain fog out, clear the gut, clear the kidneys, clear the liver, clear the lungs, clear the skin. And this is where we then can be in this awesome space of thinking clearly and living productively. Okay, and that is where this all literally does come from. And, also we're in the enviable position where we can assist people and organizations, increase wealth, increase profitability, and live their purpose by putting health first. And we also are in the space where we believe health is wealth. And we all know that without our health, we're really, really miserable. And it's hard to actually, hard to get well. You can't go and buy wellness in a bottle. It actually is a purpose, and it actually is work, because you speak to anyone who comes here, or I see them in my help desks or in my branches. Those people that come in that have got really small risk factor gaps to close are people that have worked at it. They've understood, they've studied, they've grasped the fact. And then what happens is, as well, the more healthy you feel, the higher your vibration, the more oxygenation, the more you actually want that. The more you crave to feel well, to feel on top of things. You crave the alkalinity, put it that way. You want to be alkaline. You don't want to get the toxins, and you feel immediately if something's created toxicity in your body, be it food, be it a chemical, be it something in the air, something in the water. A very healthy body will know it immediately. and you'll be able to expel the toxin very quickly. And you don't become a home for parasites and a host, you see. So if we get back to plants and plant growing and veggie growing and fruit and berry growing, which is really where I started, literally grassroots. You know, if you really make the soil incredibly fertile and put in loads of options of proteins and minerals and humus, compost, microbiome organisms into the soil, you're giving that plant the best chance to manifest its real true potential insofar as nutrients are concerned, insofar as encapsulated sunlight is concerned, insofar as the ability to photosynthesize is concerned. So we always got to remember we're coming from an electromagnetic point of view, a chemical point of view, which is photosynthesis, and then a biological point of view, the manifestation of the physical. So many of us get stuck in the physical. And when it comes to humans, we're also dealing with neurological, emotional, and spiritual. So it gets a little bit more complicated, you know, from that point of view. So when we're giving the plants the cross-section of nutrients that they need in pure soil, the ability for the microbes and the zeolite and the kelp and things to revitalize the soil, take out any chemicals or pesticides or the wrong organisms, let's say, we're then giving that plant the best chance. And that's exactly what we're doing with the human. We're giving the human the best chance. Okay, so what I thought we'd do today is talk about a disease which is related to gravity, which is denseness. So when we're dealing with 365 Healthy by Choice, we're always balancing levity and gravity, right? So we've got gravity pushing down and we've got levity pushing upwards. And we do this with herbs and superfoods. We do it with almost gold. We do it with detoxification, and we do it with life force, the life force in our foods, the neg entropy. And one of these conditions is the rheumatoid arthritis and gout, which is intense calcification at the end of the day, intense solidification of the human body. All right. Too much gravitational and not enough levitation. Okay, because there's always a balance between calcium and silica. Too much of the calcification, the denseness, the heavy metals keeps us down, and we start calcifying and getting the arthritis-y things, etc., and not enough levity. So that's why something like an almost gold, which I'm going to get to just now, is absolutely ideal and perfect for these kind of bone situations. And the bones become brittle, the bones calcify, the bone marrow doesn't work anymore, the joints become scratchy, the joints become really, really sore and painful, the connective tissue, the cartilage, all of that starts wearing away. So, you know, aside from emotional and neurological aspects to this, aside from not drinking enough water, etc., which I'll go into now, you know, the human body starts becoming very dense, you know. So that means that you lose your charge, and then those electrons aren't operating in with the zeta potential, with the right electronic force. So we don't have enough charge, so we can't operate properly either. And then our electromagnetics suffer a lot. So let me just see what one of these questions is before I move on. And hello to everybody around the world. It's just gorgeous to have you all here. And gorgeous to have you here, because I know you want to learn and you want to share with people and get everything through. So that's just great. Okay, so let's also just take a few steps back as well. If you're a therapist, or if you're a business person, an educator, a client of 365 Healthy by Choice, and you're wanting to start looking at this arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gouty situation, you know, you immediately think acidity and all that. But let's not jump at that. Let's always take a step back and say to ourselves, let's separate the symptoms from the root causes. Okay, and this is actually so simple. And if you get it right, you won't be going down and carrying out the old paradigm. The old paradigm is to treat symptoms, whether you are using allopathic medication or actually herbal or actually food or whatever down the line. So we've got to work out the causes, okay, of the calcification, the causes of the pain, the causes of the joint immobility, the causes of the density in the body. And I think many of you have listened to really a lot of these presentations already. So I hope you've got your notepads in front of you, because you can start jotting down notes as I speak, and also keep the notes. And all we want is for you to find someone with joint pain, arthritis, gout, and we can and offer them a little bit of a solution if they want it, if they ask you, obviously, always important. But if you can just share this with one person, imagine it's going to make a very, very big difference. So the pain is a symptom, okay? It's a manifestation from the soul into the body, and it's actually a communication that something is out of kilter. The body is not in homeostasis, right? So we don't reach for the painkillers. We can maybe in the short term when it's excruciating and all the rest of it. We've got to extrapolate backwards and say to ourselves, all right, what is this cause of this pain? Sometimes and often it is neurological and emotional. Okay, so we've got to understand that. Is it the resentment sitting there? Is it abandonment? Is it lack of self-worth? And that you would get through meditation clearly. You would get it through by cleansing and detoxifying yourself, raising yourself to a higher vibrational level, and then being able also to tune in and realign yourself. And something like our quantum skio eductor or QUX will give you actually the root causes of the pain and the stiffness, all right, and the rigidity. So the resistance to change, repeatedly making same mistakes, those kind of things. Those kind of things are what creates the solidity on that level, emotional, physical, and also not following our purpose. So, for example, intensive knee pain and would be linked, and foot pain and that kind of thing would be linked to not following your purpose, your direction in life. So feet, ankles, shins, knees are our direction. They take us where we need to be. So often it's a wake-up call, wrong space, wrong client base, wrong vocation or occupation. You're not even in a vocation. And maybe we need to steer the ship a little bit, change our course, change our tack slightly. Okay, so these are all the questions you're going to be asking yourselves as we go along. Because always from time to time, there's a backache, there's a shoulder ache, there's a neck ache. One of my clients has got a big, they call it a nut, okay, in between this nervous system coming down the arm from here, and the stems from the thoracic vertebrae that are coming around, the nerves and and the pain. So let's start putting this together and look at then, if we understand that there's causes to this pain that aren't all physical, that's great. We have to work that out. Okay, we have to alkalinize that part of it. Okay, and bring good juices in, and joy, and good relationships, and happiness. We need to bring that in, definitely. Okay, and I'm going to share an example with you myself. All right, which happened in the last 2 weeks, but I've also got a case study here. So if we then understand also root causes and symptoms, we can come back and we can start saying to ourselves, all right, if we're looking at this sort of calcified sore pain, restriction, resistance to change space, one of the main overruling and overriding factors is breathing and breath and oxygen, because your 10 out of 10, you will find that there's a very high carbon dioxide level in the blood. and in the brain. That is straight acidity, straight acidosis. The pH of the blood is going to be anything, or it's going to be below 7.4 for sure. You know, I mean, I've even seen, you know, bloods at just over 6. Now, if the blood pH is not 7.4 or close to that, we actually die. We're in a downward spiral, all right? And we actually are putting ourselves out there, acidic, low oxygen, for anything to come and reside inside us, including pain and including restricted movement. So we have to get that breath right. And we talked a lot about the breath. We've talked a lot about, you know, diaphragm breathing, bringing the oxygen in, and then huge, long breath out and getting all that old carbon dioxide, eliminating the carbon dioxide. We have to get it out, out, out. All right. It's equivalent to eliminating in the bathroom. There's no difference. If you hold the air in, it's going to be reabsorbed back into the blood. Horrific. If you hold the urine in and your kidneys aren't filtering properly, the urea will go back into the blood. Who wants that? Right. So this is a very important part, because you will definitely find high carbon dioxide levels, low oxygen levels, and as a result of that, you're going to often find high urea levels and toxicity levels in the blood, because the body's just not functioning in any way, not even optimally, never mind in a maximized position. So breathing is really important, okay? What happens when we get a shock? What happens when we're in fear? We do shallow breathing. All right. And we can't then get ourselves back into homeostasis. And there's this downward spiral, blood sugar, circulation, metabolic shutdown, sore bones, the parathyroid gets involved, and then there's pain, the inflammatory process kicks in, and we then, you know, downward spiral towards degeneration. And then also what generally happens as well with metabolic syndrome is the weight goes on. And if you've got a weight-bearing joint that's involved, a knee or a hip, you've got more problems, because now there's, on the weight-bearing joints, there's more pressure every time you stand up, every time you walk. So typically people come here within a day or two or a week, or definitely 10 days, they're suddenly able to go shopping again. And I did speak about this before in one of our talks. Is that once you've detoxed and you've raised and you've brought levity in, all right, through the almost gold and the detoxification and the nourishment, you can then start doing what you need to do, living your purpose, and you actually feel like exercising. You feel like getting in the sun. You feel like a relationship and interrelating with people. You feel like living. But otherwise, to tell someone who's full of carbon dioxide, acidic, depressed, to start feeling like living, very difficult. Or going for a run or something. So I think I've talked about that a lot. There's lots of things to do. There's Wim Hof breathing. You can go and Google that. There's alternative nostril breathing. You can do that every hour. You can do it every hour for a few minutes, and then twice a day, morning and evening. You can do it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can set your timer and literally just get the oxygen in and the carbon dioxide out. So when we bring oxygen in, of course, we are assisting the body, and we're changing the ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide, but we haven't taught you to breathe. So the teaching to reteaching to breathe, should I say. And we also need to have a look at hydration. So this is what happened, and I'm finding myself, and I'm sure you're also finding yourselves, resetting on a daily, weekly, bi-monthly, monthly basis. And the pace is so quick that I'm finding where I was a month ago compared to where I am now, my gosh, I've shifted like a rocket. And also getting rid of the debris and getting rid of the old and getting rid of what I did before, and bringing in the new as far as I can. So anyway, there was infringement on my copyright, on my intellectual property. And even though people had signed a non-disclosure agreement with me and all the rest of it, and I obviously never took that very lightly. And I started shallow breathing, obviously, and I forgot to drink my water. And stress obviously came in. And I was trying to sort of work my way through all of this, and I got such a sore knee, it wasn't funny. And I don't have sore knees. So it was sore. So I thought to myself, okay, stepped right back, and I started collecting myself. Am I breathing? Am I hydrating myself? And what is this message that I need to pick up on? What is it? And I then worked through all of that. And I realized also that you have to be careful what you're attracting. And I'd been working quite hard. I was a little bit tired. So I probably wasn't in my normal vibrational space. So I was attracting a lower level of space around me, if I can put it that. Maybe not even low level, but not on my vibration space. Let's rather say it like that. And so I caught it. And this pain was coming in and saying to me, you're not in your space. You're not dealing with common purpose people. Get out of the space as quickly as you can. So I did extrapolate myself out of that space. And I'm not joking, the pain in the knee went. It went like that. So I'm just sharing a bit with you. I told you, we're all at school. And we all got to learn. So if you've got examples and you want to share with me, please bring it in, because it can be stomach pain, it can be headache, migraine, it can be, back pain, whatever it might be. And we come in. But all I want to say is that I really do try and practice what I preach. So this was another learning for me, and it literally escalated me up to another level. And the next week, there was a different set of clientele coming in, a different set of patients coming in, okay, helping and all the rest of it. So that's a nice, good, perfect example. I question, was I getting in the sun enough? Was I earthing? Those of you who know me, I'm bare feet, but inside's not helping. I've got my earthing mats here, which help. I've got my disc on too, but can you see that even when there's stress and you are stressed, you need to do these things more, because you've got to then cater for the adrenaline and the cortisol and the inflammation that you start setting up. So you start setting yourself up. So the other things you can be putting on your list is to eat whole food, because whole food is exactly as nature intended it. And we are not to second guess nature. We're not to second guess our bodies. And that, I think, it brings in the miracle medicine with 365, because we're not doing that. I'm certainly not. I'm actually revering nature in my body, and I'm giving it the chance to heal. Same as the plants. I give the soil, the nature, the cosmic forces the chance to come in and produce the most vital food possible, the most intelligent food possible that's going to feed a human organism, from the electromagnetic point of view to the chemical point of view to the biology. So when you've got all that in place, and you're eating the whole foods, and you're getting all your minerals in, and you're getting all your protein building blocks in, then we've got a recipe. And we can start having a look at, that inflammation, and because we've already now set the scene, we've made the soil fertile, shall I say? We've created that scene for ourselves, and then the inflammation will come down. So inflammation is there because there's an infection, there's a toxin, or physically, the joint's immobile, or the inflammation, or it's got too chronic. So it's the body's response. So it's generally acidity first, and stress, and then we get an inflammation coming in. We've got to bring that down, and I'm going to show you some products. Those of you who are on our groups, just have a look. I put a photograph of some products that I'm going to go through just now that are going to all help this situation. So even if you don't have arthritic pain, they're going to help rebalance the body from the causes, the oxygen, the hydration, the alkalinity of the body, the pH, etc. So that acidity is a very big problem. And, stress is going to create acidity. Cortisol, adrenaline floating around. Those are all very acidic products. So even I have clients coming in here. The one lady arrived one day, I'm not joking, with 3 boxes of products. And we got them all out, and she said to me, Jane, help me. And there were 3 zincs, there was 2 probiotics, there was, I don't know, vitamin A and zinc and selenium and all these individual and arthro, something for the joints, and we had to separate things. I put elastic bands around the things that were the same, and she was sitting riddled with inflammation, a low pH, very stressed, high cortisol, high adrenaline levels, very little ability to relax. See, because you get on that treadmill and then you don't get off it. And sitting in the sun, breathing, grounding, doing yoga, they all make us alkaline. So that's the reason. You can go and buy as many bottles as you want to, but unless you are anchored within yourself, centered, and doing these basic things, exercising, you're not going to quite get there. And you can't buy it in a bottle. Okay. You can't buy this. You can't go and buy it anyway. We can buy help in terms of detoxification and nourishment and immune boosting in a bottle. We can, but even, you can't go and buy instant de-stress in a bottle. Go to work at it. So sometimes we get parasites, and they'll either be genetically modified, or they will come as a result of our body's own immune response to go and help heal the body and remove a toxin, be it a food poisoning toxin, a heavy metal, mercury, and aluminium, arsenic, cadmium, any of those, thallium. So there will be definitely infections. With infections comes a biofilm. With infections and everything that comes their wastes, and it becomes more and more and more toxic. And remember, if the pH is not right, we start getting calcification. So the bones become porous of calcium, and at the same time, we're getting calcification happening, which is weird. So wherever there's not a lot of flow, the spine, the wrist, the ankles, knees, elbows, shoulders, brain, I think I said brain, vessels, on the sides of the vessels, will start getting calcification, which is even more immobility. Then you get another organism that lives in the calcification, in a little shell. And you try and treat it, and it goes and hides in the shell. So you really have to bring in the guns and the belts and the whistles to get this one out. So you just start degenerating, lowering your energy, and everything starts setting in. The parasites, the toxins, the calcification, the immobility, the desire to go and exercise, the desire to go and get in the sun, the stress increases, whatever that emotion is, lack of self-worth, rejection, abandonment, bitterness, whatever it might be, gets worse, and you just carve that pathway in your brain day in and day out, day in and day out. It starts getting entrenched. The depression or whatever emotions coming in with it becomes worse, the cloud sets in, and you're so far away from your purpose that it's not funny. And there's a lot of people, there's a very high percentage of the world living in that space. So degeneration sets in, weight increases, as I said, and then the joints even start wearing away, the collagen, the connective tissue, and so on. Radiation starts coming in, the liver doesn't function properly, and all the organs, and then everything just, as I said, accumulates. So we've got the lifestyle things in place, and we've got the root causes in place now, and we're seeing virtually the symptoms. We know what we can start doing straight away. So what I wanted to do now is just bring in a WhatsApp photograph of some products that I took a photograph of earlier, so that you can see. And let me just go there. Let me see what comes over here. If I just press this. Let me just see here a moment. Oh yes, I did send it. Okay, let's just see here. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen. And we're going to work from this picture. All right, now I just want to help the Facebook people. Okay, right, so you're back here. Now I'm going to reverse the screen for you so you can see properly. Okay, let me make it a bit bigger. Ha. There we go. Perfect. Right. So even more perfect. I'm going to jump around because I never actually did this in any sequential pattern. But let's start off with the Almost Gold, because this product is virtually the hallmark, especially, well, for the range of products, 365 for sure, but is especially in terms of arthritis and pain and bones and bone marrow, liver. It's going to do all the detox organs anyway. It's going to bring in a massive amount of electrons, so it's going to detoxify the body, get rid of toxins. And I might as well just share with you as well, when I started with the Almost Gold, what used to happen is all the heavy metals used to come out of my calves, the front of my leg, and the top of my foot, and I would get a big black, dark gray, not black, dark gray, almost colored skin, and I would have to take a brush to brush it off. So I saw the detoxification effect of the Almost Gold on my skin, and also from an elimination point of view. So it really is gold. It's real gold, first of all, in an M state liquid form, but it's just gold as a product because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, it cleans up everything and brings the alkalinity in and blah, blah, loads of things. So I wanted to start with that product because, 2 teaspoons a day in the morning in water is just amazing. And anyone with bone anything will get Almost Gold from me anyway. It's part of our step 1 protocol in any event. So we've got to look at the Almost Gold, which is that product there, everyone. One's on Facebook, right? So we got to get that, and if you're making notes, for sure. And then we've got to have a look at the whole time now I'm talking, but what I'm doing is I'm sweeping clean. I'm detoxifying, I'm bringing oxygen in, I'm bringing nourishment in, and I'm doing whatever I can do to reduce acidity, raise immunity, reduce weight, for example, rebuild the joint, the collagen. So everything I'm doing has got to do with that. And just by the way, copper is a very important product, mineral, when it comes to bones and joints and arthritis and gout. So the next product I'm going to bring in for sure is a cell oxygen in the drop form, in our drops, which is chlorine dioxide, amazing. And then that little product there too. That's collagen. Oh, there. All right, we've got a super cell oxygen, which is herbal. And then, there's my oxygen there. And we've got a cell oxygen in a capsule. So we've got 1, 2, mineral, and we've got a herbal. Some people battle from the lungs to actually exchange the oxygen. And you're also going to need the microbiome reset to come in here to help with the oxygen transfer. Microbiome reset, live probiotics has got live enzymes in it to help the oxygen transfer. The bone and joint product was also got things like bee pollen and chlorella in it, cordyceps that also help with oxygen transfer. But these are the products, these guys I will definitely bring in, because I want to rebalance, first of all, the oxygen carbon dioxide level, but I want to really start using oxygen as a cleaning agent. It's a massively corrosive, extremely active, corrosive almost substance. I mean, it causes rust. So not in us, but in the atmosphere. So we got to use it to clean out in a very big way. And this brings the mobility back, because suddenly we're getting parasites out, we're getting the toxins out, and we're starting to break the calcification away. Also, I'm going to bring in zeolite, which is this guy here. So that's paramagnetic rock. I'm just replacing this for the Facebook picture. So the zeolite, I would take at least a teaspoon a day in water. And what is zeolite doing? Zeolite, especially for the gouty people, is it's grabbing the uric acid before it gets dumped into the gastrointestinal tract and reabsorbed usually. So it grabs the uric acid before it can get reabsorbed. Absolutely divine, exactly what we're looking for, exactly what a gout patient is looking for, all this achy, painy acid thing. So it's going to alkalinize us in a paramagnetic way. So we've talked minerals, we've talked herbal so far in the foods. Here's the paramagnetic, there's our alchemy. All right, anybody who was listening to the immune lecture last night, you now know about alchemy and what we're doing there. And our body is literally an alchemical factory anyway. It's literally producing alchemy 24/7. If you take in a chlorophyll-rich green juice or green smoothie, it's the same molecule as the hemoglobin, except it's got magnesium in the middle. We have iron in the middle of ours. So what happens immediately is that magnesium alchemically shifts into iron. Do you want to raise the iron? Eat green food. Alchemically, it's going to happen. So we don't even know what's happening in the background with these minerals. So let's bring them in and make sure the body's got building blocks at any one time. Okay, I'm also going to bring in MSM, and I think, which is the M? Oh, there's MSM here in the corner. So let me just reposition this a bit. All right, so MSM is over there. Methyl sulfonyl methane. This is actually produced, it's in organic paper factories. But however, the blue-green algae, when they first came to the planet and still do, when they undergo respiration, photosynthesis, they release the MSM. It goes up to the clouds and comes down in precipitation. And it's a naturally occurring, very important, if we're speaking alchemy, sulfur is a very, very, very important mineral for alchemy. So we've talked two already, which is gold and sulfur. In the almost gold, we also have silver, copper, nickel, uranium, palladium, osmium, rhodium. So we're getting a massive alchemical reaction in the body right here. So you heard I mentioned copper. That's where you're going to get copper. So MSM is lovely, 2 to 6 to 8 capsules a day easily. I would say even, so it would be 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, a tablespoon a day. Absolutely no problem. And that's going to help you detoxify, and it's going to help the joint pain. It's probably right. Now I'm going to talk about a very, very, very special product. Chunkapiedra, that's this one here. Chunkapiedra. So most often you start getting a buildup of calcification, which irritates the joint mobility or the spine mobility or the hips or the knees or even the ankles. So we're using a chunk of pea at a time, and become, you know, completely mineral deficient, or you know, a very, very low mineral density, for example. So we're coming in the background and we're rebalancing the body. And we also remember, if you do need calcium in milk, and of course it's raw, it's organic, so it's in the right quantum spin. And just so you know, that amongst everything else that it's got, amongst all the other minerals that it's got already, and allowing the alchemy to happen. So this Chancapiedra, getting back to it, is that's what it does. And you will find if there's calcification in joints and so on, you're also going to have calcification in the vessels, like I said, the brain, the kidneys, stones, liver stones, gallstones, and also prostate calcification. So it all starts happening together. The densification sets in. You'll find you've got lymphatic blockages as well. You'll find you're not digesting either gut parasites, food poisoning. It all really comes in together. So Chancapiedra is definitely on my list. Then I've got a product here called All Clear, which is something to take. Oh, there it is there. I'm going to go there now. Just let me make it smaller. Get back to where I was. All right, let's open it up there. All right, so we're talking about this one here, All Clear. I especially made that to cater for the toxins that are in the environment, in the food, in the water. It's got brilliant, brilliant products in there. In terms of andrographis, it's got iodine, chlorella. It's even got super herbs in there that will also detox parasites and so on. I like to use it with the para-immune boost and the All Clear at the same time, because then I'm getting rid of the cause of often of the parasites being there. I'm also getting rid of the GMO parasites and the toxicity that's there. Halogens, heavy metals, insecticides, pesticides, and also EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. So it's a superb product. So that product I'm going to bring in because the devices are going to show me heavy metals anyway, and the Q450 and the Skio Eductor QEX will show us. So let's bring that in, and it's an everyday detoxifier, but also it's about dosage. So if you want to wind it up and take 2 capsules 3 times a day, you will then get a very, very nice metal detox, and without depleting the body of all the minerals. That's the worst. I think the product that does that, it just comes to my, it'll come to mind just now. But there are products on the market, and metal chelators and stuff. After a year and a half, 2 years, you come and sit on my Skio or on my quantum device, the Q450, I'll still find the metals there. After all that and after all the expenses. So we're bringing in oxygen, we're bringing Ormus, we're bringing zeolite, we're bringing MSM, we're bringing a Chancapiedra, we're going to bring para-immune boost. So that product is sitting para-immune defense. Where is it? Oh, yeah. So we're in the right spot. Okay. There. 60s or 120s. We're bringing this product in to back up the All Clear, and the All Clear is backing up the para-immune boost, where we are now getting rid of toxins and parasites. The Chancapiedra is getting rid of the calcification buildup, and we've got other things helping us along the way. If there's weight is a problem, we've got a weight loss, which just works beautifully as well. Let me look at it. There's our weight loss. Let me make it big for you. Right, so there's the weight loss. And very similar to the fat go, but more emphasis on barley green and stuff to lose weight. And so we're going to take off the weight off the joints. All right, and also frees you up to walk easier or move or whatever it might be. So we're definitely going to bring in a weight loss. I talked about the microbiome reset to bring in the enzymes for oxygen transfer and water transfer. Some people come and say, but I'm drinking 3 liters of water a day. So, well, how come you're hydrated? How come your bones are sore? Anyone with sore bones, I challenge you. Go and drink 3 water. Just do one thing. Go and drink 3 liters of water a day. If it's spring water, even better, because there's almost in it. Just do that. You will see the joint pain starts going away. Yes, you're going to run to the toilet because we need to. We need to have those kidneys working where we're running to the toilet, where we have to, where you're excusing yourself because, wow, you're bursting, you need to go to the loo. That's how it needs to be. So I challenge you, just do that. Just do one thing. Okay, let's talk about our other favorite, the flaxseed oil. And this one also an absolute, just a universal godsend, because we need to oil the joints. Otherwise, we end up like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz. And this product is amazing for that. First of all, the omegas are in the right form compared to the human body. It's cold pressed. It's not a fish oil that had to be heated out of the muscle of the fish. Understand this. It has the live enzymes. It can do all the transformation into DHA, EPA, and all the various chain reactions that it needs to, because it has the enzymes. So I'm not buying the bunk that the pharmaceutical reps are speaking, or the health people are speaking about fish oil versus flaxseed oil. It's got ALA, that's true. It's non-inflammatory. It's an anti-inflammatory. It cleans the blood. It thins the blood. It's got antioxidants in it. All right, full of vitamins and for the enzyme pathways as well, to come in and clean and oil the joints. Okay, so it's got to come in. There's got to be a space for flaxseed oil. And there again, you can take up to 4 tablespoons a day. I promise you it'll go nowhere. It will definitely not come out of your skin. Remember to never, ever, ever, ever heat it, because then everything I've said goes down the drain. All right, it becomes a free radical itself. It becomes the trans oil and literally damages your cells, your DNA, your organs, your heart, and hangs around in the blood. Okay. So we're going to also have a look at bringing in collagen, and we have 2 marvelous forms here. We have the Integra Veg Collagen, which I put together for vegans and vegetarians especially, but I put the building block superfoods in there that build collagen and build connective tissue, like the bee pollen, for example. The MSM plus vitamin C will build collagen. Okay, so I put all of that in amongst other things as well. And I'm seeing fantastic results on the quantum devices, both of them, and much better than the bovine, chicken, shark, cartilage, collagen products. I don't actually see that hydrolyzed 2 collagen. I have it. There it is. I have the collagen myself. I'm getting way better absorption and rebuilding of joints with the vegan one, which makes also makes sense, probably because it's not heated. You see, it's not a heated protein. Collagen hydrolyzed 2 is a heated protein. And we know that once the protein is heated, only 10 to 20% is bioavailable to the body. The rest gets stored in the kidneys, protein in the kidneys. Most of us don't have enough hydrochloric acid to digest protein in the first place. So if you don't have enough hydrochloric acid, you're not producing protein, you're not digesting or metabolizing protein properly. Why are you giving more protein that's in a heated form that's not going to get digested, not going to get absorbed? Doesn't make sense. So I've got the option here. I've got the option. And then we've got one of my favorites, which is the bone and joint product. Which one is that? Bone marrow and joint. I think that's that one. Yes, bone marrow and joint. Let me just go there for the Facebook people. Oops. All right, so there is bone marrow and joint. Why did I call it that? Because it actually activates the bone marrow because it works with the kidneys to do that. Number one, why do we need the bone marrow to work? We've got to get the bone restructured, of course, because you'll find that there's damage. First of all, osteoporosis, mineral deficiency, bone density loss. But we got to refuel that, bring the nourishment in, and at the same time, get the bone marrow working, because the bone marrow is going to produce stem cells. And sitting next to it, somewhere around here, I've got my activa stem cells, because sometimes the bone is almost dying. And remember, it's a living thing, so it's almost got nothing to work with it. It's brittle. There's fractures and things happening, but there's definitely very little bone marrow activity to produce the stem cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, beta cells, T cells, NKF killer cells, etc. So we've got to work the whole bone. Remember, we don't ever do reductionist. We work with a holistic space. So it's doing bone, joints, and it's also stimulating the bone marrow. And in there, we've got all the products to do that, the usual suspects, all from sea or plant origin. In other words, non-animal. And we're then able to bring in the glucosamine from shells and chondroitin and all of that from the soil, and also the MSM, also the vitamin C to make more collagen. While we're about it, there's chunkapiedra in there too. But remember, small doses. I would rather just go and get the chunkapiedra, by the way. And then also the boswellia, anti-inflammatory. So we've covered the whole cascade, whatever can go wrong and interfere with the bone. And it's a magnificent product. The health pharmacies that use it, the staff that use it are really, really, really use it. And also price-wise, it's fantastic. It's really, really half the price, by the way, of what the other fancy companies think their fancy products are doing. So you can go and even compare if you want to. But just to say, I've brought in there another product. Every single one of these products is, except if it's on its own or hydrolyzed collagen or something, I've designed it. I've made it, or I've designed it, or I've gone and got the best flaxseed oil that I can get, or the best zeolite that I can get, you know, or licenses to make products, for example. All right, so how are we doing now? Just don't forget the value of bee pollen, because it works with connective tissue. It also has the building blocks for RNA, mRNA, messenger RNA. And that's for our immunity. It's for the DNA. And allergies and inflammation. And it's a complete protein, fertility, etc., etc. Okay, then let's have a look now at the, I've got 3 more products to do with you. Okay, let's have a look now at the RNA and the DNA, the replica. And I'm just going to find it. There we go. All right, so the replica is here, everyone. Replica, RNA, DNA. And I also specifically have not really sprinkled it into my other signature products, because we need the full capsule. Like we need the full capsule of chunkapiedra. If we want and do a lot of things and budgetary constraints and things like that, then it's fine too. But just to say, so now this RNA DNA, why have I brought it in? Because we're talking about cellular regeneration, bone cellular regeneration, joint cellular rejuvenation, just in case and more. And therefore, that cell will never rejuvenate absolutely perfectly. The DNA, the cell division will never be perfect. So we've got the almost to unravel the DNA coil, which is great, because if there was radiation or X-ray or something and the coil didn't happen properly, let's say, the unraveling of it allows also the body to expel the mRNA, the wrongly programmed mRNA strands. But if you've got the building blocks there ready available, it can then rewind with the right human mRNA strands. So that is specifically fragments coded with the human mRNA, okay, grown on yeasts, washed off. Absolutely critical, absolutely essential for immunity, because we want to now also raise the immunity. We've got to use phytoso, which those are in the products. They're in the stress defense shield. They're in the collagen product as well. But we want to bring them in because we want to build the cell. And all the nourishment, and you detox that soil, you raise the fertility of the soil, you raise the intelligence and the fertility and the nutrient content, the ability to photosynthesize. Okay, so our ability to even photosynthesize by putting the right nutrients and detoxifying. Those breatharians have got that balance perfectly. Then my Activa stem cells, and I've called it that because it's got the top products in it. There it is. It's also on the corner here next to this one. Let me just make it big for everyone. There. There's my Activa stem cells, okay? This is all on the website, the 365 Healthy by Choice website. Go there anytime and go and have a look and just immerse yourself in the knowledge, in the intelligence, in the vibration of the space. And, you know, I can say this categorically because I was at one of the health pharmacies today. I was there with, there's about 6 rows of my products there. And we were busy actually doing a little bit of a stock take. And there was a lady speaking to the one homeopath on the side of us, and she was actually blocking our view. We couldn't see the products. We couldn't do the audit properly anyway. And she turned around for some reason, and she looked me straight in the eyes, but she was standing in front of the range of products. And she said to me, "I know you from somewhere." And she said to me, "I can resonance." And my product's in the corner. I know it was the resonance coming from, yes, probably me and the manager of the center, of the shop, the store, but she was in the envelope. She was in the cloud. She was in the vibrational cloud. Yes, she may well have known me from another time, and she did look slightly familiar to me. But when you are in that vibration, you will also start attracting people who resonate with that vibration too, and you start expelling the pain and the inflammation and the stress and the fear and, you know, coping with it all. So sorry, that was just an aside because it came. So these Activa stem cells, royal jelly, blue-green algae, lion's mane, cordyceps, and foti, right? Hoshuru. We were then giving the body the stem cells to go and morph into bone stem cells and joint stem cells and whatever necessary to go and rebuild the body. So wow, what a combination. But there's one more step, and it's these products at the top. The male and the female hormonal balance. It works with the hypothalamus, which works via the liver, which instructs the bone what to do. Okay, don't know how many people know this, but if that liver is not functioning, the hypothalamus is not functioning, the liver is not functioning, the instruction on the bone is not functioning. It's the same as if the kidney is not working, the instruction on the bone marrow is not working. So we worked that one out too. So to get this bone working now, we do need the liver to work properly, hence the liver cleanse and restore, and the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus gets cleansed with the male and the female hormone boost. It also has all the nourishment, whatever it could need, for thyroid, for pancreas, for ovaries, for testes, reproductive organs, for adrenals, for liver, for bone, etc., 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 for digestion. So it can pull what it wants in and manufacture the building blocks, all the protein building blocks as well. And when the instruction from the liver and the blood comes through, it will release what it needs to bring in the body into homeostasis. All right, so that is literally in a nutshell my best shot at this. Don't underestimate radiation. It's hammering the cells, it's hammering the organs, the systems in the body. I talked about the earthing mats. Let me see if I can just come back. You've all got this picture now. Okay, so if you haven't, tell me and I can send it wherever you are. And yeah, so I've talked about the earthing mats. I've talked about the EMF pendants, which I've measured on the devices, both of them. So by wearing this, you are because it's got the frequencies embedded in it, you're automatically readjusting the DNA, the brain waves, the health status of the body. So it's the best I've got right now, and I've said that many, many times. It's the best I've got right now, and that's why I'm using it. So then I think if there are any questions, let's have a look here. No, I just regarding that question, it was a static picture that I put up because I wanted to just show you without too much movement. So if you've got that picture, just in response to the question there, you can now go and put things together yourself. I mean, it's quite a variety of products if you think about it. Oh my gosh, and just before I do forget, we have a hand, limb, and foot soak, all right, which is based on the cell vitality oxyminerals, and we also bring in a carrier. So this is a true case study too. So let me just get back to that as well. This lady, one of my professionals, she's a physiotherapist. She's 70. Her hands are sore. She's been doing physio her whole life in hospitals, one patient after another, okay? And the rheumatoid arthritis was setting in, the pain, inflammation, and everything debilitating her and not bringing in joy because she was every day living with this pain. Anyway, we did a couple of quantum skio eductor QX sessions with her. We did the Ormus Gold, we did the normal detox, and she said to me, "But Jane, my fingers." I said to her, "Wait, it's going to come." She said, "But Jane, they're sore." So I said to her, "Just go and soak them. Put the drops in the water with the carrier. Put your hands into the water for 10 minutes a day, and then let's see." Well, within one day, she got her hands back. This is a true story. And that just shows you how strong the oxygen is at coming in and clearing away inflammation, pain, parasites, and calcification. Right. So she was on the track already, but in one day of soaking, that's what happened. So you might say, well, how do I soak the shoulder? You get in the bath. Fill the bath up, nice warm water. You make the drops, and you get in the bath, and you soak. Absolutely marvelous. I didn't want to forget that. So what I wanted to do was just sort of add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, I went through probably 16 to 20 products with you that I'm telling you, if your condition is slightly different to arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gout, etc., if you've got a fibromyalgia problem, it's going to fix you too. It's also going to fix you. If you've got fibroids, it's also going to fix you. If you've got endometriosis, degeneration. Obviously, I've got lots of other products, but all I'm trying to say to you is that the body will manifest discord in certain places, depending where the weak point is and depending on the emotion generally and the neuralgia that goes with it and the purpose and what needs to happen. So, if it's the foot, the ankle, the spleen, the liver, the gallbladder, the kidney, the brain, it's all a manifestation of the body being out of balance, out of homeostasis. Remove the stresses, remove the causes, recharge the body, detox the body, nourish the body, boost the immune system. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've had a lot of fun, and these are recipes for success, everyone. This is miracle medicine, and this is how we're getting the results that we're getting in quickly. So I can read to you the one lady, anyway, I can't remember exactly her words, but the one also came to see me. Oh, there's two examples, actually beautiful. So she could hardly walk properly, she could hardly move. We did a quantum assessment on her, we got all the root causes out, etc., etc., etc. And within 1 to 2 to 3 days, she was up, she was walking. She said, Jane, I'm feeling like a new person. I've got energy, I've got vitality. I still do have certain pains and things. She said, I got an injury to my the tibia bone in her leg. And she said, there might be a tear there, and I'm working on it. She said that she went and got an x-ray, and there was a bursitis. So bursitis is when you get a real lump, like on the elbow, you get a big lump of pussy, parasite, toxin-filled, disgusting biofilm, horrible. So she had a leaking one there as well. So it's just a matter of time when we clean properly and give the body a chance to repair the tear from a long, long time ago, get the weight off the hip and the knee, and clean up the infection. So already that started happening with her. Okay, then the other guy, and this is a true story, and we've mentioned it before as well, but came in, he could hardly walk in as well, sat crouched over on the chair. Wasn't sure he was even listening to what I was saying. And he took in everything that I said. He did everything that he needed to do. He walked in upright. I never heard a word from him. He walked in for the following appointment, absolutely upright, straight into the consulting waiting room. And I reached for my questionnaire to hand it to him to fill it out. And he said to me, don't you recognize me? I said, no. And then I realized it was him. And I said, come and sit down. And every risk factor was closed. From the cardiovascular to the heavy metals to so he was riddled with rheumatoid arthritis. And all the bones, anything to do with them was either on the blue or the green. That was without the quantum assistance. I'm just saying. So there we have it. People who come in and do what we say and follow what we're doing are really opening themselves up for miracles to happen. And it's just too beautiful and such a graceful space and a grateful space to be in. Watching people metamorphosize. They literally step out of the old box. And they're coming in a new space. They're looking different. They've reshaped themselves. That 70-year-old physio reshaped her body. She looks like a young 50-year-old. And she has a brain of a 50-year-old. And she has the energy of a 50-year-old, you know. So that's all I can really share with you. Yes, we have many people with fibromyalgia. Many people. Many people who've had it and shifted. See, so it does come with counseling, with emotional release. We do have to know that. But that's easy. That's for another day. That's easy to sort out. Any more questions? Any more questions, everyone? I hope you've loved what we've had to say. I hope you received the essence of what we're talking about in terms of being a healer yourself, of healing people, of understanding the body. Number one, the electromagnetic field of the body and those forces and the electrons. Number two, the chemistry. Number three, the biology. And then always to know that there's the neurological, emotional, and spiritual aspect to everything that we're doing. So I'm getting some information here. Thank you very much on the Facebook as well, that an integrative approach is critical. That's absolutely true. Thank you for that. We got to deal holistically, whole in our whole space. We're not pieces of random pieces out there. We don't have a liver stuck there and a thyroid there and some skin over there. We are integrated. We are whole. We are holistic ourselves. And don't forget that we are also integrated, interrelated with nature, the soil, animals, the cosmos. So, thank you for that. We have to be integrative. Whole body healing. I love that. It's about clean living, clean eating, clean everything, clean thoughts. And as we do that, we raise the vibration of ourselves and the planet. And that in itself it's just remarkable. I mean, what a gift to be able to do that and not live with clutter and debris and things around us that don't need to be there, should I say. And right now, at this turning point, we need to really focus on decluttering, like I started off as well in the beginning. Get rid of all the distractions and the poisons that are around you on any level. And tomorrow we have the Turning Point event, Friday, 7 p.m., same time, South African time, Greenwich Mean Time, plus 2 hours. And we've got Errol the astrologer, we've got Sister Dipti coming in and doing her beautiful, unbelievable meditations. We've got Dr. Reddy coming in talking on the astral plane. The astral plane is the soul plane, which I spoke to you about earlier, when the soul imprints itself on the body and we receive pain. He's talking about that. I'm talking about the usual holistic, quantum, integrative, beautiful, electrifying space that we live in, and giving ourselves the vitality to take the turning point, to shift, to move through the threshold, to move through the eye of the needle. We have to have the vibration to do that, to even be able to think about it in the first place. So that's the same time. It's complementary. This week's been a big week because we had the immune lectures yesterday, the Jane Live today, Miracle Medicine, and then the Turning Point. The Turning Point events are like roughly once a month, but this is a big one because we are talking about the astrological end of the Piscean age, which was last Friday. Okay, and then we're talking about also now we're entering into the Aries full sun moon time period, and it's on Sunday. So Friday, actually today, from now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days before the full moon and 3 days after is an unbelievable period of high energy, and it's going to have a positive and a negative aspect depending on which one you choose. So tune in tomorrow night because Errol's really, really informative from an astrological point of view, and the alignment and the transits and so on. So there we have it. I will do a recording. I'm going to post this, and you can have then a documented recording of this for yourselves too. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming in on Facebook too. It's been a pleasure. And, let's keep the ball rolling as well. Let's keep this whole thing alive and pencil in your own diaries, Wednesdays and Thursdays every week. Okay. So wishing you lots of clean living. And if you've got any questions, then just let me know. And I just also want to take this moment to just remind all of you in South Africa anyway, who've got things that you can donate to the Actonville Primary School, just outside Central Johannesburg. Anything to do with crafts and drills and woodwork and knitting and sewing and books for the library and clothing and everything. You can either send it to me or you can send it directly to Vanessa, who's on our group, and she will take great care over it. And it's a living place to go to where you can go and see and enjoy everything and help and volunteer. And we have a branch there. So it's the Actonville branch, and the parents come in also for assessments and products, and so that's Vanessa. Good. I think that's about all. Go and have a great rest of the day. I definitely am. Sorry, Facebook people, because I forget that I should sit a little bit back, but I'm learning to do the two at once. Ciao, everyone. Very quickly, and I make a remarkable difference.